Yeah, it's on YouTube.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, here we are. Now we are live with
Oh,
Jacob Owens.
what's up?
What's up, man? You've had a busy day already and it's barely past midday. How are
Oh
you?
man, I've done so much today already, and yeah, just anytime a video drops, like there's just so much for me to do, like because
Yeah,
usually if a video drops, like a bunch of my other like companies and stuff are involved, so and I manage kind of
really.
like everything from every social media, so it's just always it's a frenzy to
That's crazy.
organizing and posting the content to my channels, Buff Nerds, Prism, Tropic. So it's always like super chaotic. And I tried to post the Kyle video just now this morning. And then
Right.
like if you post over 30 seconds of most like labeled artists like or music, it'll get copyright and flagged. And so then it was like this post is not being able to be seen or you need to delete it. And I was like, fuck, dude. And I was trying to like there's just so much going on. So but I think
So
we're
you
all
have to go back and YouTube is fast with that though, right? Like finding songs that already belong to some people
yeah.
and kind of and then you
Well,
obviously have to.
Instagram's cracking down a lot on it now, which is just crazy because it's like I worked with the artist on the video, I directed, I did everything, and it's like I can't even share it to Instagram. Basically, like I have to share under 30 seconds so that the song doesn't get flagged and copywritten, and
Yeah.
not be able to be seen. So it's kind of crazy.
But
Just
what would be the remedy to that? Do you have to prep Instagram, let them know that you're about to do this, or do you just have to kind of let them know, hey, we worked with them?
yeah, I don't think right now there's any way to like preface it or like
Really?
let them know like, hey, I'm gonna post this. Like, there's just nothing
And
you can really do.
is that only for IGTV or for
I
regular?
mean, I posted to my feed a minute long video of the clip, and it was just like I figured it was gonna happen. I was but I posted enough of the end of the video where there's no song playing and it just kind of rides out, and that's what
Yeah, I saw that.
the album title and stuff. And so I thought I'd be good, but I guess there was enough of the music in there that where it was just like, yo, UMG recording has filed or recognizes copyright. This post is now hidden. Please delete or whatever. And I was like, gosh dang it. So
Oh
yeah,
man.
it's always interesting because you want to share like there's some people that will only watch that and then don't go watch the full video, and it's like so you want them to see as much as possible, but you
Sure.
can only share like the smallest little snippet. So you're like, what snippet do I want to share? And I was like I don't want to give away the ending, but I like the ending because it's kind of the build up and the reveal of the album title and everything.
Hmm.
So if that's all they watch, cool. Like I don't know, it's always a struggle to figure out what to post and share. So
Well,
yeah,
it's good to know that at least successful people are still struggling and still
yeah,
like
always,
still have the same problems that we all do.
yeah, yeah, 100%.
Oh man, dude. So I've been trying to get you on the show for a while now. I want to say like at least 2 years.
Really,
We've
yeah,
both been busy, just I guess going back and forth every now and then, never really materialized, but here we are
right,
finally.
yeah. Shoot, it's tough. Like I want to do these as much as possible, but
Yeah,
it's like I also get hit up for them so much all the time by so many people.
that's
So it's like
good.
I can't do them all, and I want
Yeah.
to do them, but at the same time, I'm like I always have a million things going on, and so to like, yeah, I always try and do them though. But I'm glad
That's
we made this
no,
work.
that's awesome, man. We'll try to keep this one brief. We'll
No,
try to keep this one brief and so you can get back to work. I did and it's good that we were talking about all the companies that you run because I wanted to kind of go over those
right.
in the sense that I have no idea. I personally have no idea how you kind of handle that. I'm assuming you're not by yourself, so I'm sure we'll
Yeah.
get into all of that.
Right.
Um, so I wanted to start with, I guess, your background. Introduce yourself. I'm sure a lot of people know you, but those that don't, introduce yourself, what it is that you do. If you want to list all your companies, you can. Well, I plan to do that anyways, but what it is that you do, your forte, and kind of what's your background.
Yeah, I mean, so at heart, I'm a video director or a film director, music video director, whatever. I'm a director,
Yeah.
and over time, that's led me. But I also feel like I'm very much like an entrepreneur as well. But I always like to be like I'm an entrepreneur a lot in the filmmaking space, but also outside. I do a lot of stuff outside of film that some people know, some people don't. But yeah, I do a million different things. So it's always tough. We're like, oh, what do you do? And it's like, gosh, I have like 6, 7 different types of business. I'm a director, but
Yeah.
I just usually say director entrepreneur, but yeah, I just started shooting videos, all growing up. That's what I did. I was always creating stuff, shooting home movies and videos and stuff, carried through high school, through college. And that's kind of where I went to film school at ASU and found out that like I really wanted to do film. And my buddy at the time was an artist and he was just like, yo, you want to make a music video? And we did. And that's kind of where it all started. And speaking of the Kyle video, he's one of the first artists I linked up with and started shooting with and built my YouTube channel up and grew a huge following for not only like filmmaking videos, but independent music videos and artists and music, and just kind of took off from there. And then once I, started like having a lot of financial freedom in the sense of like everything was doing really well in that lane, I started like, oh, like I would love to make a company like this, or I want to invest over here. And I bought some real estate and I flipped a house with my mom. And like, I started using that success in the film space to fund other stuff that I wanted to do, and kind of started really transitioning to a more entrepreneurial approach, probably like 5 years ago, I want to say. That's when I bought like my first property and turned it into like an Airbnb. And then shortly after that started like Tropic Color, and like I just started kind of doing that stuff. So I moved to LA it actually happened pretty quick. I moved to LA when I was 23. So I graduated, and then graduated college at ASU. And then like 6 months later moved to LA when I was 23. And then, yeah, I kind of was there for 2-3 years working with a bunch of artists. And then after that is when I started pursuing, I still did video stuff and still do video stuff, but also started really pursuing a lot of other ventures as well. And I always like just being my own boss and being in control of what I want to do and how I want to do it without people telling me like, hey, like you got to come in today, you got to do this, got to do that. So I'm just always looking for opportunities of how I can create things and businesses and stuff for myself. So
that's fantastic, man.
There's so much there. I tried to compact that, just really briefly give an overview, but
yeah, no, I can imagine how to condense everything that you do into a short answer. What's your main workload these days? Because I know you start all these businesses and whatnot, and which is awesome. You can't be everywhere at once. What is your main focus?
Good question. I think my main focus right now, it's honestly evenly split across a multitude of things. Like there's not really one thing I put way more attention into than the other. Like they all kind of get an even amount of attention. It's just a little bit less. So it's like Tropic Color, Prism Lens Effects, my production company, they all get a pretty, even the film properties, they all get a pretty even amount of attention. There's not one that like I'm not like I haven't not done a video in 6 months or something like that. Like I still do video production stuff, or directing, editing, but I just kind of spread it all out. I feel like I'm very like creatively, like I just had this conversation with someone last night about the Bulls. I don't know if you know about the Michael Jordan Bulls documentary.
Yeah,
The Last Dance has been out, and he was like, man, you should make like a documentary like that on like, and I was like, I know I couldn't do that because I know how much time the documentary takes. Like that is your life for years. Like your life is that documentary and that's it. And like, I'm so creatively, like I love to do something here and then bounce over here and then here. Like I could not commit to a project for 3 years of my life, maybe even longer. And like, that's it. Like I just love to bounce around and do a bunch of creative things. I think I'm creatively like very ADD in that way. Like when I was a kid, I was always making board games. Like I have here in the house, I have like not plastered, what is it called? Laminated board games and card games that I built, created through. I have golf courses I designed, pictures I painted, home movies. Like I was just always creating things. And so I think that's my focus, is just doing a bunch of things that keep my mind creatively engaged. Because if I didn't do those other things and all I did was music videos or whatever, I'd get so bored. I would hate it. Like as much as I love directing and doing music videos, I would hate that. Like if that's all I did. So I don't know. I just like always kind of creatively, I guess, moving and building, you know?
One of the things, because I think that one of the things that impresses me about your work is that not only do you do a lot of it, but you do a lot of it well,
Right.
you know? And I don't know, does that come from a bunch of practicing of that specific thing? Like, for example, you released out of nowhere, I see you posting a book that you put together,
Right.
right? And I'm like, and I was looking at the pages, you were flipping through it, and it looks so well put together.
Yeah.
Like, did he just wake up one morning, decide I'm gonna write a book and just put it out there? Like, how do you
I
do?
mean,
Like, do you study these things that you do, like flipping houses, for example? How do you
yeah.
how do you just go to flipping houses? Do
I
you have
just
real
tell
estate in
people,
your,
like,
huh?
I just tell people, like, you kind of just got to jump off the cliff and learn to fly on the way down. Like, I didn't know anything about that. You know what I mean? I bought the house, and then it was like I was gonna be in LA. Like the first one, I was gonna be in LA for like 3 months. And it was right during spring training, and so I was just kind of like, oh, I'll put it on Airbnb, I guess. Like, wasn't a plan to make it an Airbnb for that
Sure.
one, and it just kind of worked. And so then I was like, oh, okay, well, let me now buy a house that is like low, like that needs some work, and I'll basically flip it. And then in the meantime, I'll rent it out on Airbnb. And then 10 years from now, when I go to sell it, now I've never had to pay a mortgage on it. The property value has gone way up. And I had already flipped it from when I bought it. So it's worth more. So I'll probably make a bunch of money. It was just, to me, it's almost like common sense. Like, I just
Sure.
look at it like that. I'm not studying how to do that stuff. I just did it and I jump in. And I think a lot of people have reservations about certain things, and so they just don't do it. And I think the best way to figure anything out is to just jump in and do it and go ahead first, and you'll figure it out as you go. I had no previous experience with real estate or flipping houses or Airbnb. I just kind of randomly jumped into it. And, now, and same thing with the film properties. Like, I have the first film property. I kind of looked at it as like, I always wanted one. And then I wanted a house in LA. So I wasn't renting, like I was actually owning something. I was like, well, I'll buy a house and I'll turn it into a film property. Like, I rent all my locations through Peerspace. Like, what's to say my house that I decorate to be film friendly, like that I can't rent that out? So I literally bought, it was scary as hell, buying a house in LA and hoping, like, spending all this money to decorate it and do all these things. And what if no one wants to shoot here? But, like, you just have to, there's only one way to find out, and that's to just do it. And so I did it, and it's just nonstop busy. You know what I mean? And so,
Yes. So I mean, it seems like you just have to take that risk
right.
every now and then. Do you do any, like, I guess, what would you call it? Like, doing some research on some sort of demand that is out there before you start any of these businesses. Like, do you do
Yeah, I mean,
market
for sure. If,
research?
if you're not, I don't want to put this like me, like be mean about it, but if you're not like most intelligent person, or you feel like you don't have a lot of common sense, like, for me, it may, like, you should definitely go and do your research. But for me, like, it's funny, like Chanel, my fiance, would be like, how do you think of these things? And I'm like, I don't know, it just makes sense. Like for example, the peer space, like, people, or the Airbnbs, people like, well, like, what do you look for in an Airbnb? And it's like, well, you want to be in a town or close to a city where a lot of people travel, right? You don't want an Airbnb out in the middle of nowhere where people aren't traveling. So it's like, number one, common sense. Like, just without doing any research about Airbnb, it's like, obviously I want to be next to the college. There's going to be a lot of families. There's going to be a lot of events. Tempe is a hub for like all different types of sporting events, college bowl games, spring training, golf. So it's just like, for me, it was just like common sense of knowing, like, okay, like, if I'm going to rent out this place, it needs to be an area that people are, it's heavily traveled. Boom. But you can easily research that stuff, like top reasons why, or investment properties or Airbnbs, like, what do I need to look for? And I guarantee that's going to pop up. But like, for me, like, I didn't have to research that. It was already like in my head, like, that's what I needed to do. And so that's why it just depends. If you don't feel like you're the most, I guess, intelligent or a common sense person, or you're just you're scared and you really want that, you want all that information there so you can make a good decision, then yeah, definitely
Yeah.
research before you jump into anything. But
So
yeah,
yeah, I want to go through a list here of these are just the companies that I know of. You probably have more that I've seen online, and
okay,
you tell me if I'm missing something here.
okay,
So these are your video production company. You have Prism FX.
Yeah.
Is it Prism Lens Effects or
Yeah.
Prism FX?
Effects.
Prism Lens Effects, Industry Jump, Buff Nerds, the production studio properties. You have the Airbnb properties. You have Tropic Color,
Yeah.
and most recently, I noticed the contracts, which looks phenomenal. I think I'm going to pick that up too. By the way.
Yeah. That's a part of Tropic Color. But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, am I missing anything there?
Yeah. It's all, I always miss stuff myself. I'm just like,
Yeah.
yeah, you said
When you can't remember your own businesses.
You said the film properties. You said the
yeah, the studios and stuff, locations, which like the one with the in the desert with the plane parts, that looks phenomenal.
Yeah, that one was fun. That was
that looked amazing.
Yeah, but again, same thing with that, bro. Like I was buying 40 acres out in the middle of nowhere, and like hopefully people will come here to shoot, like, you know what I mean? And I was terrified going into that because even though I had success with the honeymoon hideout, the house in LA, it's like, this is something completely different. It's far away. What if no one comes out here to shoot? And, you know, but I personally, as a filmmaker, was like, I would love to shoot something here already without the stuff I did to it. So I know if I want to shoot here, other people want to shoot here. And that's kind of what I used is like, yeah, this is a good decision. You get what I'm saying?
How long do you wait between the time that you make the decision to purchase it?
Bro, that one was a week. Like literally in the car, my fiance, after honeymoon was doing well for like 2 months, she was just like, we should get another one. And I was just like jokingly. And I was just like, yeah, we should. And I literally got on Zillow. We're driving to like a flea market. I got on Zillow and was just searching. I knew I wanted to do like a desert property film ranch kind of thing. So I was just searching in the desert for different properties. I came across this one. I was just like, this is it. And she was like, this is all in the car on the way to the flea market. And she's like, you're joking, right? And I was like, no, I'm dead serious. And she was not happy. She was like, no, this is too right. I called the realtor from the phone. I was like, hey, can we set up it was the weekend. So, you know, I wasn't going to see it, but I was like, can we set up a time to go see it Monday? Went and saw it Monday. And made an offer that week, and then had the property in my name by the start of that next week or whatever. So,
dude, that's wild.
But I just feel like when I see the opportunity and things, like I jump on it, and I try not to be. Obviously, there's always going to be a little fear that comes with everything, but I try not to let that stop me from like doing those things because, bro, I can't even imagine not having that film ranch property. Like it's like. I don't know, like it's already the types of artists and people that have shot there on my own projects I've shot there, just also owning land outside of the city of LA. Like, I don't know. It's just, it's just crazy to me to think like if I didn't have that property.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I'm a big risk taker on a lot of stuff, even like what I'm doing now with my house here. I'm trying to turn it into, we're renovating it, like completely gutted the backyard. We're trying to turn it into like an event rental space. So that would be like another, I guess.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that post.
So, yeah,
that's pretty awesome, man.
Yeah.
And man, it's pretty wild how you just jump into these ventures. It seems like every company that you have is kind of central to like filmmaking. Like, is that would it be safe to say that that's like your first?
Yeah, I mean, filmmaking is what I love, so it's like I try and as best as I can like keep everything because that keeps it fun and interesting to me, like more so than if it were to be something else. But I have so many more ideas for other like film companies and products and things, but it's like there's only so much you can do, and I got some other ideas cooking and brewing, but I don't mind doing stuff outside of film. It's just not as interesting to me. Like the Airbnb stuff, I sold one of them because I was just like, I'd rather like put this money into something else. You know,
Sure.
I still have one of them, which I now rent out permanently instead of Airbnb-ing it, just because it's like I got so busy with so many things. I was like, I just can't also manage this as an Airbnb. So now I just rent it out permanently. But like that stuff is cool, but it doesn't bring me any like, I don't get any like real fulfillment out of it. It's just like an investment, and it's cool. And so I try and keep it all related to kind of the filmmaking creative space if I can, you know what I mean? So
Yeah. Is it more of those things where, like, for example, Prism Lens Effects, is it that you wanted a product like this for yourself to use, so you
well,
created it?
that's where that's where like everything stems from, right? Like,
Right.
you know, that's where Prism Lens Effect started. Tropic Color started because I always colored my own videos and I wanted to make my own effects and assets, and knew I could for my videos. And I was like, shoot, let's just turn this into a company. And so me and my buddy
Yeah.
Tom partnered up and built it. But like that stemmed from, it was always stuff I was making and creating myself, but now let me make it for other people. Same thing with Prism.
Right.
We're always dancing wine glasses and prisms and different things in front of the lens to get cool effects. It's like, all right, there's no way to actually mount this directly into the glass and not hold the glass or like mount it. Let's build something. And so it's like, it always stems from kind of a necessity, if you will. I think that's where most inventions come from, period. Like the person invented the spatula. They're like, I need a way to flip this. There's no way to flip this. Boom, spatula invented. So yeah, I mean, same thing with the locations. It comes from, hey, it'd be tight to, you know, have my own vintage location. I can shoot in our desert location to shoot, you know, an indie feature ad or this, like, but I know if I want to shoot there, other people do too. So it all kind of stems from, yeah, that need and desire to have it and use it myself. And if I know I would want it and use it, like other people will as well. So that's kind of, I guess, how I.
Yeah, man. And what continues to boggle my mind is that you also have a very successful YouTube channel, right? Buff Nerds.
Used to.
Used to.
I used to, yeah.
Really,
I mean,
what happened? Uh-huh.
it's just like, I mean, we used to average like, I don't even know, like 20, anywhere 10, 20, 30 million views a month years ago. And now there became a point where it was just like all of a sudden no one was being notified that I was uploading videos. And then a lot of the artists that I would shoot for, like they got their own YouTube channels. And so the videos I was doing for them started going on their channels, and just like, it just kind of completely died out. So although, yes, I have 800,000 subscribers, I might get 2,000 views on a video. So
Really?
I don't really put any attention into it anymore. The only thing that stuff that gets uploaded to that is stuff that I've created outside. Like if a BTS video was made of the, like, for example, this new Kyle video we shot, there was a BTS video made. The guy who shot it and edited it, he's going to send it to me, and, you know, I'll throw it up on there. But we weren't making the content for the YouTube channel. We were making it for our Learn Cinematography program, and we're making it for Instagram, but I'll throw it up there. But I don't make anything anymore like specifically for YouTube. It's all just like, you know, now there's just no point. Like they're YouTube hides my channel, hides, like if I have you're telling me 800,000 subscribers, yet there will be 2,000 views on a video. That doesn't add up at all. So something's going on, and YouTube also doesn't pay like it used to. And there's so many more restrictions now. Like if there's one like bad reference or curse word or something where it registers that like a girl in a bathing suit, it might register it as like nudity or something, and that video will get flagged and you can't monetize it. So I don't focus on YouTube anymore. And that's why we actually built Learn Cinematography and built that platform, because it's like, I want to create super in-depth, high educational content, but it makes no sense if I'm spending all the money and time in that to put it on YouTube and have it go nowhere and make me no money and not be seen. Like, it just, that would be a waste.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
That's kind of we decided to like build our own platform for people that want to join the platform and, you know, enroll. They're going to get high quality informational filmmaking content from practicing filmmakers doing it in the industry at a high level. And if they want to pay to enter the course program, cool. It's not that expensive for the amount of stuff that we have in it now, and we'll continue to add into it. Cause that's what we're looking at as projects come up, content will be created around that and uploaded. Like these Kyle videos, there's going to be 2 very in-depth BTS videos, as well as a cinematography breakdown about those videos we shot, because we shot multiple videos, and we'll put all that stuff on the Learn Cinematography program, but that won't go on YouTube. You know what I mean? Because it's just, we're spending so much time and money making that stuff. We want it to go to people that really care about it and want to see it and know it, and not just have it go to limbo on YouTube. And
That's crazy that that's been happening. I've been hearing throughout the years that YouTube has been having issues with that.
Yeah,
The whole
at least for me, it's really bad. But I know other people as well. But yeah, so
and I remember that video that you made, very creative, by the way. You put together regarding Vimeo.
Yeah.
That was also an issue with you also.
Yeah, I mean, true. A lot of big filmmakers too, like Brother, who does a lot of huge music videos. They did a video for Travis Scott, Butterfly or whatever, and their Vimeo account got deleted as well. And there's just like, you can't. It's kind of like what I was just referencing with Instagram at the beginning. Like, you can't even share your own work because the song was being flagged and copywritten, and then you'd get your strikes, and Vimeo, after 3 strikes, they delete your account, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Wow.
I tried everything I could to get it back, talk to them, and they're like, sorry, it's like an independent third party that like does this stuff, and you have to get in contact with them. And of course, I could never get in contact with them.
Did they reach out? How did that video do? I don't know if you spoke to them after that, or
which one?
That Vimeo video that you did. I think it was called like Dear Vimeo.
Yeah, they never reached out or anything.
Oh, okay.
It's called Dear Vimeo. Yeah, I was super proud of that one, actually.
I was impressed. I liked it. I'm like, well, as horrible as this situation is, this is a pretty good video.
Oh, it's because I was passionate about it. I was like,
man.
This is screwed up. You know what I mean? Like, I pay for your guys' platform and service, and these are my videos. Like, okay, so it has an artist song in it, but it's still like, I directed it, I edited it. I have every right to share this.
That's wild that they do that, even from the person that created the video.
Yeah. But like, a lot of big people I know shortly after that were having the same issues I was, and before me too. But yeah, after that, like, I started noticing all these people like messaging me like, bro, my account got deleted too. My account, Brother just had his account deleted. Go check out his interview. Like that. And so, yeah, it's just all the crackdowns with music and like these I guess music companies or whatever, which is interesting, because it's like, if anything, it helps promote the song and video, and the like would drive traffic to that song if you have people posting about it. So like, why would you want to negate that, other than, because it's not like Vimeo, you couldn't make money off Vimeo anyways. Like, I get it on YouTube if they wanted to file that copyright, because YouTube, you can make money off of views and stuff. But Vimeo, you couldn't even make money off of your views or anything. So I don't get why they're flagging stuff and deleting accounts when you couldn't profit on it regardless. So
right. That's insane, man.
Yeah.
So man, and I got to tell you, I for one do appreciate everything that you do for the community. Man, everything that you put out is always for the benefit of people like me that are always constantly trying to learn. And even like Prism Lens Effects, I love it. I recommend it to a lot of people, just because it's so affordable compared to the things that are out there now, and there's nothing as nice, you know.
Right.
So it's really beneficial.
That's kind of where that came from too. Is, even like with our new filter, the Dream Effects filter, like if you were to buy a similar thing like Hollywood Black Magic, both me and Tom have a variety of like highlight softening filters from Hollywood Black Magic, Pro Mist, different things. But like the 4x5s that slide into your matte box are $450. And you can't, they have a hold on that market, and that's what it costs. You can't find anything cheaper. It was just like, shoot, let's just make our own. And that filter came later, but like, it was always our intention with Prism Lens Effects to make stuff as affordable as we could, while still being able to be a business and be open and create. That's the other thing. We'll get like, the stuff we're struggling with right now is just, but regardless, you're always going to have people that think this. Some people think our stuff's too expensive. They'll be like, $85 for a filter? No way in hell. And it's like, bro,
they have no idea.
Yeah, you have no idea, but you're just always going to have those people. But our international is where we struggle, because we have a ton of international customers.
Right.
But like, we're not some huge multinational corporation. So like, USPS charges us like $50 to ship anything international. And all these people are so used to like ordering from, I don't know, Amazon or wherever, and they get shipping for $10 or less or free. And so we have so many people hit us up like, why is your shipping so expensive? Like, it's more than the filter itself or this or that. And it's like, guys, like, we're not setting that price. That's what we're being charged, And So that's where we want to, in the coming like year or so, figure out some type of, I don't know what the solution is there, because
And
we want to be able to have international people like buy our
of
stuff and not
course,
have to pay the same price as the filter as shipping or whatever. So, but yeah, that was always the goal, is just
right.
try and make the stuff as dope and cool as possible for as affordable as possible, so that, you know, everyone can get their hands on it. Because like, if you wanted to buy, if you're a dope like upcoming cinematographer and you wanted to buy a 4x5 Hollywood Blackmagic half strength for your matte box, it's going to run you $450. But if you can buy one from us for 125, then cool. And that's what we used entirely on the Kyle video, was the new videos.
I saw that. I know.
Yeah.
Looked very, very
That
nice.
one we doubled the strength. We just wanted to go like OD with it and give it a super glowy, crazy feel. But yeah, it was entirely the Dream Effects filter. So,
Man, how do you handle your, and we may have skimmed through this earlier. How do you handle your time management between your companies? I think I asked you, like, you know, how do you, earlier I had asked you, what do you focus on the most, but how do you handle that part? And I assume you're not the only one running all these companies. You've
right.
made contacts, you've brought people on board. How did you kind of
Yeah,
manage the whole thing?
some of them we have some help. For the most part, it's me and Tom doing everything, and then we have our friends that are like basically our employees. You know what I mean? Like for example, at the Prism warehouse, we're not able to be there every day shipping, so we'll have friends go in and ship for us, and you know, and my fiance handles like the emails and stuff, so we don't have to handle the emails, and I can focus on like, me and him can focus on the creative stuff, the website, the social media, you know, creating content, making ads, or, you know, promo material. Like, but I like to have my hands in all that stuff. Like, I make all the promo material, I run the social media accounts, YouTube, Instagram. You know, me and him work, you know, add stuff to the websites, work on the, but it's more of like the back end business stuff that now we have people help us with. But we used to do everything early on.
Right.
As you kind of grow, you kind of have to have people step in and help. So at some point, the emails just started to get too much for us to handle, and still like create things and go ship and you work on the promos and social. So I was like, hey, you know, Chanel, do you want to manage the email account? And so you just kind of, as you start like realizing like, oh, like I'm getting bottlenecked here, you find a solution. So
Interesting.
but yeah, I just work on everything a little bit every day, just, you know, here and there.
So one question that I have is, for example, Prism Lens Effects, and I keep going to this because I really like the product, but Prism Lens Effects, you think, all right, maybe we can make it ourselves, right? All right, great, let's start this company.
Right.
What's your next step? Do you find somebody that knows how to make it? Do you find a warehouse somewhere?
Yeah, I mean, basically what we did is, luckily Tom, my partner, is like super handy. Like,
Okay.
he loves to build stuff, and he's super great with all that stuff. So we found a warehouse that was only like $750 a month. And he just started doing research on like, how can I drill glass without it breaking or shattering, and find some type of adhesive to create a mount and everything. Like, he just started workshopping stuff, and we started prototyping stuff in the warehouse for a couple months until we figured out like, okay, this is it. This will work. It's not breaking. It's not falling off. The glass isn't shattering. Like, we're good. And we just started with the prism and the orbs, just hand making everything. And then we launched and realized really quickly, like, oh, people want this stuff. And we got super behind, and we're like, there's no way we could manually make all these ourselves. So then we started outsourcing, where we sent our designs basically like, hey, you drill 1/4 inch deep, this is the threading, the blah blah blah, and started finding like companies that could mass produce for us our designs basically. So now we just basically have companies, there's like 2 or 3, just because we have so many different types of little products. We have 2 or 3 different basically like manufacturers that help us mass produce, like we'll or be like, hey, we need 1,000 of our kaleidoscope filter. They'll make it, but we still do a lot of the assembly. Like, it's mainly the glass elements that we get made, and then we still have to assemble them at our warehouse, because we have a special step that we do in warehouse with this special adhesive we have, and we like to just put it all together and make sure everything's good in the warehouse. And then, then we box it, ship it out. It's getting crazy though. So, which it's good. It's like a good, bad problem. Like we definitely get super overwhelmed at times, but at the same time, it's like, that's a blessing, you know?
Right.
Sure. Like a lot of people would like to have that problem of getting overwhelmed by orders, I guess, you know?
It's a good problem to have.
Yeah.
I would say.
It's just tough because you don't want to piss people off to where then they start bad mouthing your company because they're like, oh, they take forever to get orders out and this and that, you know, that's where the struggle is. Cause it's like, as much as we are trying to like get everything done, we are just a very small team. We're not some huge company. And I feel like people from the outside look at us and think we're Tiffin or Schneider or something. And it's like, no, we're just like, we're two filmmakers with some friends making these things. And so we get some pretty nasty messages, just like,
really?
Yeah, man, it's crazy. It's like, you're a fake company, you steal our money, like, you've never shipped my order. And like, and the people lose it. And like,
wow.
And it'll be like, oh, Amazon has ruined it for everyone. Like, because like, if you don't get your order, if you order something and don't get it in 2 days, it's like, where the hell is my order? Because we'll have people order stuff, and on our website it says please allow up to 1 to 2 weeks for processing, and then another week to ship. And people will hit us like 3-4 days later. I ordered 3 days ago. Where's my order? And it's like, damn. And then we direct them to the website, and they're like, why does it take so long? That makes no sense. And it's just like, wow. It's a never-ending battle. So,
have you thought about perhaps letting Amazon handle the order and shipping and all that?
We do have some of the stuff on Amazon, but it's hard to get stuff on Amazon. You have to, through like the government, create a barcode for your product specific to that product. And then you have to there is a process, and then, you got to ship it to Amazon and have them fulfill it. But then, and only then, there's specific area like Amazon US, like people, if we put it on Amazon right now, people outside the US can't buy it. You have to there's like separate Amazon sections for different countries and parts of the world. So like, even though our Prism lens effects are on Amazon, if someone from Italy tries to like search them on Amazon, they won't pop up. So it's, we don't really know how to get around that yet.
That's interesting.
But we also don't have the like bandwidth or people to like do that research. And me and Tom just don't have the time to research that. And so that's why we're trying to get to a point where we can get caught up, and then we want to like sit down and figure out like, okay, maybe let's bring on some people. Let's invest a little bit more of our money back into it to like hire some people that can like full time try and, I don't know, we'll figure it out. But right now we still enjoy, you know, doing it as a small business as well.
Right.
So, you know, we don't, we're growing, we're figuring it out.
I mean, that's good to know. That's good that you're, you know, you're transparent like that, and looks like you're getting some love here on the comments.
Oh, no, wait, are you on? Is it on YouTube right now?
Yeah, it's on YouTube.
What do I search?
I think if you just go to the iFilmmaker channel, it should show live right there.
Gotcha. But anyway.
we have someone here that's live. Brandon Fountain. He's a regular here. He actually said he just joined your Learn Cinematography course as before he was waiting to go live for this. So he had just joined your course. So he's excited for this episode.
Love it.
We do have a question here. I think it's a pretty good question here from Tucker online. He's asking, you say that you like to take a lot of risk and jump in like headfirst to these companies. When has that not worked out for you? Like, what are some of the mistakes that you've made?
Honestly, I don't think there really is one. It's funny, Chanel, my fiance, she always says that I have the Midas touch. She's like, whatever you touch, like, just seems to work out.
King Tut.
I'm trying to think like, okay, there's one. I had to think for a second. So we went to start this, me and Tom went after Tropicolor, we went to start this one company before Prism Lens Effects called Aerial Stock, which was basically going to be stock footage of only like aerial drone clips. But at the time we were just so busy and we didn't have the bandwidth to really build it out the proper way. But it got crazy feedback and love. And still to this day, I get hit up and like, hey, where's that site where you sell aerial stock footage? I'm like, oh, it doesn't exist anymore. And I think there's a way to bring it back in the right way. And we're going to, I think, transition it into Tropicolor and have a section on Tropicolor where you can just buy drone stock footage packs.
Right.
But rather than a whole website of, all these clips and like just the bandwidth and the effort that it takes to build out a whole stock footage platform.
Yeah.
At the time was just like too much for us. And I don't think we had really the knowledge. And so it kind of definitely fizzled out, but we tried and jumped right in and the feedback was great. But to this day, yeah, aerial stock doesn't exist right now.
Yeah. Yeah. I see myself going back and forth like that too, with different kind of entities and knowing when to put something under one or just keeping it separate,
Right.
and keeping it as its own thing there. So I thought that was pretty interesting there.
Yeah.
What are some, all right, so let me entertain that question a little bit. What are some mistakes that you see other people make, right, when either doing their video production company or trying
Number one right away is this isn't necessarily to video production company, but it could be, is when I see profiles like on private, like social media profiles, like,
oh yeah,
like whether like I'll have filmmakers send me their work and be like, hey, can you check out my new video and let me know what you think? And I'll try, like it'll say post unavailable because they're on private.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, if you are trying to grow your business, your personal name, your brand, you cannot have a private profile. Like it's just absolutely, like Instagram is your portfolio. It is your website. That's where I've got jobs. People come to it, can instantly see your work and what you're about. Oh, this dude's dope. I want to hire him. Boom. Right. So it's like, number one is like, if you're trying to grow any sort of business or personal brand or anything, like you can't have private social media accounts. That's the first thing.
That makes a lot of sense. And I think that's one of those common sense things that you're referring to earlier, where like, if you want people to see this stuff, I've seen the same thing also.
Right.
I've experienced that also.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's the first thing that just kind of pops off.
What about the kind of posts that they make? Like, so I know that people try to start a business, right? But they're kind of mixing in their private and I'm saying, because I've seen this before, their private life with the business that they're trying to have that look of professionalism.
You got to separate those. That's why I have Jakob Owens and that's why I have Buff Nerds, right? If I just did everything through Jakob Owens, like, or through Buff Nerds, like if on Buff Nerds, I was posting personal pictures of me with my dog or whatever at the park, like, it's kind of like, wait, what? Like, you know what I mean? Like you have to separate those two if you're trying to run a production company or a business, but also have that personal page in life. Like you don't want to mix and cross things. Now it's different if you're someone, say like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson or whatever, his kind of brand is himself. And so
he is the brand.
But yeah, for the most part, like you have to have, separating like, different accounts, profiles, and keep that stuff separate. So, and then I guess the other thing is like mistake wise, I would see is people that want, I don't know if it's necessarily a mistake as much as it is like a complaint I hear. And it's like, there's an easy fix to that. Okay. Is I'll have people that say like, hey, how they'll either complain about not being able to grow their following or their account, or like what's the easiest way to grow my account or following? And the answer to me is simple. Like you have to share information that is shareable or like that people find value in. So like for these cinematographers or people that like I'm not growing a following, but all they do is post a frame and it'll be like Fujifilm XT shot with, hashtag film photos. It's like, you're not adding value into anyone's life. Cool, you're sharing a cool photo, but if you want to share information to where people either share that themselves, they're tagging their friends, you want to create where like adding value to people's lives. People follow funny people because they add that comedic relief and value to their life. They, find funny videos, share it with their friends, it brings them laughter, so they follow you. But like same thing as a cinematographer, if you want to like grow a following, And I mean, there's a million cinematographers out there now. You have to share information and stop being Mr. Cool Guy. I think too many people are scared about like actually like, you know, they think that sharing information or value is like corny or cheesy or, you know, doesn't makes them not a real cinematographer. And so I think you have to be willing to share information, share and add value and share value that people will want to follow because they get something out of your page. They get something out of your work. People can like, I'm not going to follow someone who just posts like, you know, cool frames and doesn't give me any context into how they shot it, why they shot it, how they lit it. Like, oh, like if they like, I have no interest in that. That doesn't add any value to my life. So I think like the number one thing you can do to like grow a following or grow your business is add value to people's lives. Give some sort of insight, information. You know, that's like, in my opinion, one of the best ways. And I think how I grew, so like I shared everything. That's how I came up was writing the books and tips and secrets and having YouTube videos and on Instagram, sharing how I did things, showing behind the scenes. People don't like to show behind the scenes. Well, now more than ever people do, because I think people are starting to realize like how much it helps. But like, I can't tell you how much I've heard from people like on set or different things like, oh no, behind the scenes, we don't want people to know how we do it. And I'm like, who cares? Like, so
that's good. And I know you don't do the YouTube channel anymore, but you grew it pretty big. What was your method behind that? Was there even a method, or was it just simply sharing the information that you were just talking about?
Yeah, I was just sharing the information I was talking about, just doing what I love, uploading music videos that I was shooting, directing, whatever. And then, you know, if a cool topic came to mind for a YouTube video, like if I got a lot of questions, like, how'd you do that effect? Making a tutorial or some type of sharing a behind the scenes video of one of the shoots. And like, I don't know. And it kind of naturally, I guess, grew and got big. There was no real crazy like game plan or trick, you know, that I did, you know, at all.
So last question I want to ask you, obviously we're in very different times these days. Right now, everything, it seems like the entire world has gone upside down. People are uneasy. And I know that there's probably no right or wrong answer to this, really, just because we don't know what's going to happen when everything just opens up. But where do you see, what would you recommend someone like a regular videographer or a filmmaker or anyone that is in this type of industry, what should they be doing? How should they be sort of preparing for this? And again, there's no right or wrong answer. I don't know. I think that your guess is as good as mine, but with someone with business experience, I would value your judgment, you know?
I mean, you have to create opportunity for yourself and just try and find like, what can you do? Because you can't sit and wait for something to come to you. You know what I mean? So like for me right now, we're just going full bore on the learn cinematography stuff because we own that. It's our thing. Like we're building that out so that, you know, in the future people will, you know, come to it. And same thing with like the learn music videos and other things, like building something and creating something for ourselves proactively and going out and trying to create opportunities for myself rather than, you know, waiting like, oh, just waiting for that call or email like, hey, we have this project we want to bring you on. Like you have to be proactive in whatever way you can sit down and think like, oh, what can I do? You have to be proactive and go after it. Like I had one guy reach out to me, funny enough, for like our Tropic Color. He had an idea for a Tropic Color product and he reached out to me. I was like, that's dope. And so we collabed on this pack and now we sell it on Tropic Color and he's making good money off the sale. He made that opportunity for himself by reaching out to me with an idea. And I was like, yeah, I like that. And now boom, we're doing something. So it's like, you have to do those things like what he did. You have to proactively find and build opportunities for yourself. And so especially right now, while everything's just kind of on hiatus, like you just have to try and find those ways you can stay productive and create for yourself, even if it's just creating content for your own Instagram, putting it out there. You never know who sees it and then reaches out to you. You know what I mean? So you just, I guess that's the biggest thing I can say.
Well, and this is one question here we just got online from Safwan. He's asking, would you say that there's a huge difference between videographers creating YouTube content versus films and movies?
Mm, say that again. Say that again.
So he's asking, the question here is there a huge difference between videographers creating YouTube content, basically like YouTubers,
Right.
and someone that's just creating films and movies, or maybe like short films, passion projects, whatever it is?
Um, I mean, they're different in that they're different
Yeah.
mediums and stuff. I don't really know how to answer that one.
Yeah, I mean, I would say I think it's just what the purpose behind it would be.
Right.
Like, if it's to put film like art out there, I guess that's good.
Right.
But even for that, I wouldn't expect, just like you said, like personally, if I'm making my own passion projects, which I love to do, you better believe that there's somebody there shooting BTS, because I'm gonna
Right.
want to break down everything that I did to post it later.
Right.
I think a lot more people would be interested in the BTS video than the actual final product. Have you seen that to
Yeah,
be the case?
I do. I do.
Yeah, right.
Like people, they want to know how stuff is done and
Oh
made.
yeah.
Like, so I would agree with that for
Yeah,
sure.
I've seen that too. You could post the final product video and it won't get nearly as many likes or
No, not even
engagement.
close. That's what's so frustrating. I'll like pour out blood, sweat, and tears into something. And it'll be
Yeah.
amazing, and it'll get like, oh, that was
Yeah.
good interaction, or okay, or not really that much. And then you post like behind the scenes of some crazy split screen BTS of the thing, and it's like, oh, this is crazy, this and that. What lens are you doing here? Like all these, and it's like, bro, come on, dude.
I
Come on,
I would
bro.
I would say this. I would even say keep the final product for your clients
Yeah,
satisfaction, because that's what's really paying for it. But then keep the BTS video. And when I say keep, I don't mean to hold it back from anybody. I would
right.
say like have different expectations. The final product is for your client. The BTS video is for your followers.
Yeah,
Is that cool to say?
yeah, I agree. 100%.
So dude, this has been fantastic. Thank you so much for coming on. Um, can you, and this might take another 10 minutes, but could you go ahead and let us know where you could find all of your companies? I guess we can list them out one more time.
Okay.
Um, and if you want, I can list them for you, or you can just do it off the top of your head and let everyone know where to find them. Either way, I'm gonna have links to everything on the show notes
I'm gonna
for
see if
this.
this will work here.
Huh?
I'm gonna try and show. Is it reversed? Can you even see that?
Yeah. I see it perfect. Here,
So
let
we
me.
got Jacob Owens, which is my personal. We got Tropic Color, which is my post production company. We got Buff Nerds Media, which is my production company. Prism Lens Effects, and then we got my 3 film locations down there. So
That's
I don't know if
awesome.
it's legible on my end. It's not, like it looks blurry on my screen, but
It's
yeah,
all right. Yeah, well, you just listed them, so I'm gonna put links to all of that stuff, and I'll get with you later to get those links,
okay,
and we want to put those on the show notes so that everyone can find you.
right.
Also your Learn Cinematography course, is that
Oh
something
yeah,
that I assume
yeah.
people are able to subscribe to that and
Yeah, that's a new one. We just kind of run that through Tropic Color,
okay,
just because to like we don't have a separate Instagram for that because Instagram will only let you have so many accounts, and I wasn't going to get a new phone or device just to run one account and whatnot. So we kind of run that through Tropic Color, but it's a culmination of like it's a Buff Nerds Media product. You know what I mean? Our production company, and it's a platform to basically learn kind of anything and everything cinematography. We're always right now there's like 50 plus videos that are live. Once it's all said and done, there's probably going to be 80 to 100, but we release like new episodes every Friday. And we kind of want it to be just an ever growing and evolving platform where stuff's always being added. For example, like these Kyle videos we just shot, we're going to
yeah,
upload some in-depth breakdowns on there.
that's good.
And
And where can people go to find that?
just learncinematography.com.
LearnCinematography.com.
That's
That's
it.
awesome. And is it a subscription based thing, or is it
No,
something?
so it's just like a one-time thing. There's 2 different kind of payment plans. There's one just you pay up front, and then there's one that's like broken down over 3 months for those that like want smaller increments. But yeah, it's just a one-time payment. It's not a subscription thing. So it's like the value. anyone that tries to like hate on it and be like, oh, this is so expensive, like, one, it's not, and two, like, for the amount of information and stuff we're sharing and we'll continue to share, like, it's pennies, you know what I mean?
Right.
So but that's what we always try and do with all of our products as best as we can, is make it as affordable as possible. Like, we didn't want to charge $1,000 to join our program, like,
Right.
and we didn't want to throw people on a subscription basis and have them be charged every month. Like, I don't know. It's just easier to be like, hey, one small fee, join the platform. Hopefully they tell their friends about it and it gets more people to join, and we can build a really big, community. But
That's
yeah, I mean,
good.
we just kind of launched that, I think, like 2 months ago, and we plan to add more, like, basically learn. Right now it's learn cinematography. Then we want there to
Right.
be learn music videos. Then we want there to be like learn, like, we want to have just various sections of learn this, learn that, all related to filmmaking. But yeah, so
That's
the next
fantastic.
one we're kind of slightly working on right now while still doing that is learn music videos, and that'll be all dedicated towards like music video related content. So less
Good.
about actual like lighting and cinematography, like what's hard fill and soft and neg and all that stuff, and more towards like music video treatments, how to land gigs, like directing an artist, things you need to know, like in camera, like just music video breakdowns with other directors, producers, DPs, like them talking about their videos. What, like, so it's all like music video centered. And so that's the next one we're kind of slowly working on as we do everything else as well. So yeah,
Dude,
it's a lot.
that's an incredible amount of stuff that you have
Yeah. Yeah.
growing in your head there, man. That's insane. Very impressive. I congratulate you for all of that success, dude. And you're still killing it, and actively trying to get bigger and better. So I appreciate that, and putting all that stuff out there. I want to thank everyone that joined us online. Everyone, I'll be putting links to everything online over on the show notes for this episode.
Cool.
Jakob, thanks so much for being on, man.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Have some fun. So
Yeah,
I
for
always
sure.
enjoy talking about all this stuff. So it's fun.
Awesome. Thanks, dude.